The twin suns of Scifi Prime dipped low over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of amber and violet. On the surface, sprawling alien cities glimmered with the light of their energy crystals. The city was alive with activity. Traders haggled, officials debated, and soldiers patrolled the crystalline streets. To any visitor, the scene looked peaceful, almost serene. But beneath the surface, tension thrummed like a hidden storm. In the council halls above the city, representatives of Scifi Prime's dominant species gathered. They were the leaders of a coalition of multiple intelligent species who believed their reach extended across the stars. Today they convened to discuss a new discovery, a signal emanating from the outer edge of the sector, from a planet so harsh it had been avoided for centuries. Reports say the signal comes from Varnath, said Councillor Rethick, a tall, serpentine alien with eyes like molten gold. His voice carried authority, yet curiosity edged it. A death world. We all know no known species can survive there. Why would anyone approach it? Councillor Vera, a winged diplomat from the neighboring system, leaned forward. It is impossible. We know the legends. Varnath kills every species that sets foot on it. It is a world of constant storms, poisonous air, and predators that can shred a ship's hull in minutes. Who would dare enter? Someone has, Rethick replied, his tail flicking nervously. The readings are not ancient signals. They are current, recent, active. A murmur swept through the hall. These were seasoned leaders, experienced in interstellar politics and war. Yet the name of Varnath carried weight. Even among the fiercest warlords, it was a whispered terror. Meanwhile, far from Scifi Prime, deep in the orbit of Varnath, a small squadron of ships moved with precision. Their hulls were matte black, shaped for stealth and speed rather than beauty. These were human vessels, humans from a world that had been called a death world itself. Captain Rhea Calder stood on the bridge of the lead ship, the horizon's edge, her eyes scanning the glowing instruments. She was a human in her early 40s, battle-hardened and calm. Her team of elite soldiers, known across human space as Deathworlders, moved efficiently around her. Sensors show no immediate threats. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Jarek, reported. He was younger, eager, but disciplined. Atmospheric readings are stable. For now. Rhea nodded, her face expressionless. That's Varnath for you. Nothing stable here lasts long. Keep your eyes open. Remember, the unknown can kill faster than any laser. Her crew was used to it. Each human aboard had trained for extreme environments, planets with corrosive air, oceans that boiled, jungles that could devour a person whole. They were humanity's finest, and they thrived where most species died. Back on Scifi Prime, the Alien Council debated furiously. Some suggested sending a fleet to investigate and possibly seize the planet before the unknown threat could grow. Others, more cautious, argued for waiting and watching. Councillor Rethick's voice cut through the chatter. We cannot ignore this. The readings are unusual. Whoever or whatever is there, they do not belong. We must act. Councillor Vera shook her head. And if we act too soon? If we disturb them before knowing their intentions, we could start a war. Or, Rethick countered, we could be the ones unprepared when they decide to act. Think carefully. We cannot afford mistakes. As the debate continued, the humans' ships edged closer to Scifi Prime's sensor range. They moved silently, almost like predators themselves. Unlike the aliens, humans did not rely on overwhelming numbers or flashy displays of power. Their strength was adaptation, the ability to survive anywhere, to turn hostile environments into advantages. On board the horizon's edge, Rhea looked at the holographic map of the sector. Small blips represented alien outposts, patrol ships, and communication relays. We will not engage unless necessary, she said. Our mission is reconnaissance first. Survival is priority. But be ready. Things move fast out here. The Alien Council, unaware of the exact nature of the approaching fleet, sent probes to Varnath. These probes were sophisticated, capable of long-range scans, environmental analysis, and limited self-defense. But as they entered Varnath's orbit, a storm unlike any other erupted. Lightning ripped across the sky. Acid rain hissed as it hit the probe's shields. Gravity anomalies shook the instruments. Within minutes, the probe transmitted garbled signals before going completely dark. The Council's experts stared at the readings in disbelief. Impossible, muttered one technician. This storm should not exist at these parameters. It's adaptive. changing to destroy anything that enters its orbit. Rethic's eyes narrowed. Then it is more dangerous than we imagined, perhaps. It is a defense mechanism. The humans, however, navigated the storm with calm precision. Their ships adjusted shields, thrusters, and sensors in real time. Ria's voice, steady and commanding, guided her crew. Stick to the plan. Adapt, watch, learn. We survive this. We know more than they do. Hours passed. The alien council grew anxious. Signals from Varnath were inconsistent, often disappearing entirely. The idea of sending a manned fleet became increasingly terrifying. Rumors began spreading among the council chambers. What if the stories are true? What if a species exists there that even we cannot defeat? Meanwhile, humans had already mapped the deadly environmental patterns, identified safe paths through storms, and established forward observation posts on Varnath's surface using specialized drones. Their efficiency was almost frightening. To the humans, this was ordinary. Another day surviving a world designed to kill. In the capital city of Ziffer Prime, citizens watched the sky as strange black shapes appeared near the edge of the system. The council initially dismissed them as unusual ships from a minor system. But as the fleet drew closer, spanning kilometers in formation, whispers of the legends might be true spread like wildfire. The council convened an emergency session. Holographic images of the human ships flickered before them. Their sleek utilitarian designs were unfamiliar. Their movement patterns, coordinated yet unpredictable, suggested intelligence, experience, and adaptability. Counselor Vera's wings twitched nervously. What species could survive Varnath and appear here fully armed and ready? Rethic's gaze was hard. I do not know. But one thing is certain. We have underestimated them. Whatever they are, we are not prepared. As night fell over Ziffer Prime, the first human ships entered orbit around key strategic points. They did not attack yet. They simply observed, scanned, and adapted. Their presence alone sent a ripple of fear and curiosity across the alien ranks. Captain Ria Calder watched the planet below, her reflection mirrored in the glass of the bridge. They think this is their sector, she said softly, almost to herself. They don't know who's come. Let's give them a reason to remember us. Her crew understood immediately. No words were needed. Across the cold void of space, humanity had arrived, and even the legends could not have prepared the galaxy for what Deathworlders could do. For Ziffer Prime and the council that ruled it, the calm before the storm was over. Something ancient, fierce, and utterly human had arrived. The galaxy would soon learn that Deathworlders did not retreat, did not surrender, and did not fear what other species could not endure. The first sign of humans' true strength came quietly, almost unexpectedly. The alien council had been monitoring the edge of their system, confident that Ziffer Prime's defenses were sufficient. Yet in their arrogance they had not considered what it meant for a species born on Deathworlds to face danger every day. Captain Ria Calder sat in the command chair aboard the horizon's edge, her eyes scanning holographic maps of alien patrol routes. She did not smile, did not gloat. Humans did not need theatrics. Their work spoke for itself. Lieutenant Jarek, she said, her voice calm. Mark the nearest communication hub. We take it down in 20 minutes. No civilians harmed if avoidable. Precision only. Jarek nodded, adjusting his glasses over his sharp eyes. Coordinates set. Drones ready. Weapons charged. Outside the ship, the black sky stretched endlessly. The alien patrol ships were sleek and silver, equipped with powerful energy shields and rapid-firing plasma turrets. They were confident, proud, complacent. But confidence was their weakness. At exactly 20 minutes, Ria gave the order. Engage. Human drones launched like swarms of dark-winged birds. They moved fast, silently, weaving through asteroid belts and debris clouds invisible to the aliens' primary sensors. Some drones emitted electromagnetic pulses, briefly disabling the shields of key ships. Others were programmed to analyze weak points in the alien defenses, transmitting real-time data back to the human fleet. The aliens panicked as their patrol ships began to falter. They had never seen anything like this. Precise, coordinated strikes from an invisible enemy. Their plasma turrets fired blindly, missing every human drone. Counselor Vera watched the holographic screens in horror. What is this? How are they attacking without even appearing? She demanded. Rethic's jaw tightened. They are adaptive. Observing, learning, exploiting. We cannot fight what we do not understand. Back on the human ships, Ria's calm voice guided her fleet. Focus on strategic points. Avoid civilian zones. Adapt to their countermeasures. We do not fight for war. We fight to survive, and to make them understand who they face. The first wave of drones disabled the alien communication hub. In moments, the entire system's alerts went dark. Alien fleets attempted to regroup, but the humans were already 3 steps ahead, their drones mapping escape routes, analyzing energy signatures, and anticipating every move. On Sci-Fi Prime, panic spread among the council and the city. Citizens watched the skies as alien ships faltered, sparks flying from failed shields. Reports came in of minor explosions at key relay stations. The council had underestimated the humans. Assuming a species that survived harsh worlds would be cautious and slow, they were wrong. Retreat. Retreat! One young officer shouted in the control room. We cannot stop them. They strike too fast. Rethik slammed his clawed hand on the console. Hold your positions. Observe. Learn. This is a test, but humans did not need to wait. Their next move was already underway. A specialized squad equipped with environment-adapted suits and compact assault units landed on a small satellite station orbiting a minor planet. The aliens had believed it unassailable due to its orbit through a radiation belt. Humans did not care. Radiation, toxic gases, and extreme gravity were all part of their training. Ria led the team personally. She moved through the station like a shadow, her every step calculated. Alien guards were caught off guard, unable to predict her movements. The humans disabled security systems, neutralized weapon caches, and took control of the station in under an hour. Not a single human was harmed. The council convened in crisis. Holographic projections of the human fleet and their operations covered the room. They move faster than our fleets. They know our tactics before we do, Vera exclaimed. Rethik's voice was calm but sharp. Yes, that is the point. They are not here to negotiate. They are here to demonstrate. Survival is their language and they speak it fluently. Humans, meanwhile, did not celebrate. Their focus was on information. Every move they made gathered intelligence, ship layouts, weapon systems, patrol patterns, and alien strategy. They adapted quickly, modifying their drones to overcome new defenses and developing countermeasures against alien detection systems. A young alien officer, Talus, watched in disbelief as the human squads moved through dangerous zones that would have killed any other species. How can they survive there? He muttered to his mentor. Their suits, their weapons, it's as if they are invincible. The mentor shook his head slowly. Not invincible, adapted. They have survived worlds that would crush our species instantly. That is what makes them dangerous. Back in orbit, Ria made a calculated decision. We do not destroy everything. We show them power, enough to understand who we are, but not enough to ignite hatred. Lieutenant Jarek looked surprised. So, mercy? Precision, Ria corrected. Mercy is part of survival. Humans fight with honor, not recklessness. Let them learn respect. Despite the humans' restraint, the aliens were terrified. Ships that were considered elite fell to drones and tactical strikes. Communication lines went down. Supply routes were blocked. All the while, humans moved with eerie calm, as if they were walking through their own homeworld. The first major confrontation occurred when a human squad landed on an asteroid used as a forward base. The aliens believed the asteroid's unstable gravity and dense mineral storms made it impossible for intruders. Humans walked across jagged rock formations with magnetic boots and adaptive sensors, striking key command posts and disabling defense turrets. The alien commander, desperate, tried to retaliate. Fire everything. Destroy them, he ordered. But the humans had already anticipated the attack. Their drones diverted fire, created false targets, and drew enemy ships into environmental hazards, asteroid collisions, plasma storms, and gravity wells. Every alien tactic seemed futile. Meanwhile, humans maintained a strict code. Civilians were left untouched. Alien workers and technicians were evacuated if possible. It was not brutality that defined them, but intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. Every move reinforced the reputation of humans as Deathworlders, species that thrived in lethal environments and punished those who underestimated them. On Sci-Fi Prime, Counselor Vera turned to Rethik, her voice trembling. We cannot match them. Every plan, every defense fails. How do they do it? Rethic's eyes were sharp. They are not like us. They have survived what we cannot even imagine. They think differently. They act differently. They do not fear death. They anticipate it, prepare for it, and use it as a tool. As the day ended, the humans had achieved their first major objective, a demonstration of power and intelligence that left the aliens shaken. They had not launched a full-scale assault, nor had they annihilated the alien fleet. Yet the message was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. Captain Rhea Calder observed the galaxy map once more, noting the alien positions. "Tomorrow," she said quietly, "we continue. They must understand who we are." Lieutenant Jarrett glanced at her. "They will know soon enough. No one survives a human strike twice and thinks they are safe." Rhea allowed herself a small nod. It is not just survival. It is respect. And today they learned the first lesson. From the alien council chambers, alarms blared endlessly. Reports of lost stations, disabled ships, and baffling drone strikes filled the room. Panic spread, but so did a grudging respect. The council realized that humans were not just a myth. They were a force shaped by worlds that would have destroyed every other species. The galaxy had never seen anything like the humans. In the council halls of Zephyr Prime, tension reached a level that had never existed before. Aliens who had once believed themselves untouchable now questioned every decision, every strategy. Every report from the front lines only deepened their fear. Counselor Vera paced nervously across the chamber. "They adapt to everything. Every trap, every blockade, every ambush we set. How can one species be this prepared?" Rethic stood silently, his tail curling around his legs. He had seen many threats in his long life, but the humans were different. Their speed, intelligence, and unpredictability were unlike anything he had known. "They are not just strong," he said carefully. "They think differently. They survive what we cannot even imagine. And worse, they do not fight like us." Meanwhile, orbiting a remote asteroid belt, Captain Rhea Calder studied her latest map of alien movements. "They are reorganizing," she said. "They think more ships and weapons will solve the problem. It won't. They are reacting, not planning." Lieutenant Jarrett, his eyes scanning sensor feeds, nodded. "Our drones have tracked all their movements. Every fleet, every outpost. Their patterns are predictable if you understand them." "And we do." Rhea allowed herself a rare smile. "Good, that is what we need. Remember, survival is not just fighting, it is intelligence, observation, and adaptation." The humans had already established a series of observation posts on asteroids, moons, and orbital platforms near Zephyr Prime. Each was designed to appear invisible, blending with the natural environment or exploiting sensor blind spots. From these positions, humans monitored the aliens' fleet movements, supply lines, and communication networks. And then came the first test of ingenuity. The alien fleet launched a counterattack, sending waves of fast ships to intercept human drones and observation posts. Their goal was simple: destroy humans before they gained more control. The humans, however, had anticipated it. Drones shifted formations, splitting into smaller swarms to confuse sensors. Some emitted decoy signals, drawing enemy fire into hazardous asteroid fields. Others attacked supply ships, causing panic and disorganization without direct confrontation. Rhea watched the screens intently. "They think they can outnumber us," she said. "But numbers mean nothing when you understand the battlefield better than your enemy." As the alien ships moved through the asteroid belt, humans used the environment itself as a weapon. Gravity anomalies were exploited to slow or misdirect enemy vessels. Magnetized debris was used to disable engines. Plasma storms, which could have destroyed anything unprepared, became shields and cover for human operations. On Zephyr Prime, panic grew. The Council's advisors argued bitterly. Some urged immediate escalation. Bombard the humans from orbit, destroy their observation posts, and force them into open battle. Others, more cautious, suggested negotiation, fearing that further attacks could provoke greater human retaliation. Rethic raised his clawed hand. "Enough!" he snapped. "No more rash decisions. Observe, learn. Humans do not act like we do. They survive. They adapt. We must understand them before we act, or we risk total disaster." But understanding the humans was difficult. Even the Council's best analysts could not predict their moves. Every operation revealed new tactics. Adaptive armor that adjusted to energy weapons, drones that learned from each strike, and squads of human soldiers who could navigate lethal environments as easily as walking through a city street. In one daring move, humans landed on a remote moon used as a communication relay. The moon was surrounded by storms that made navigation impossible for most species. Yet the human squad moved with precision. Magnetic boots and enhanced suits allowed them to traverse jagged rocks, dodging electrical storms and poisonous clouds. Within hours, the relay was under human control, transmitting falsified signals that misled the alien fleet into thinking their reinforcements had been destroyed. Talus, the young alien officer, watched the reports in disbelief. "How do they do it?" he muttered. "Every system, every defense, they turn it against us. Every world we thought safe is theirs to use as a weapon." His mentor shook his head slowly. "They are not weapons in the traditional sense. They are adaptable. Survival defines them, and we are unprepared for a species that thrives where we perish." The Council's fear was mirrored on the battlefield. Alien fleets scrambled to cover gaps in supply lines. Outposts were abandoned. Even elite guard units trained for years to handle crises were falling to the humans' combination of intelligence, planning, and environmental mastery. Meanwhile, the humans showed restraint. They did not destroy every station or ship they encountered. Civilians and workers were evacuated when possible. Their attacks were precise, calculated, and purposeful. It was clear that humans were not driven by hatred or conquest. They fought to survive, to demonstrate their capabilities, and to make the aliens understand the cost of underestimating them. Rhea walked along the bridge of the horizon's edge, observing her crew. "Remember," she said, "this is not a war. This is a lesson. Every strike, every maneuver teaches them something they cannot ignore." Jarek glanced at her, admiration in his eyes. "They will remember. I think they are starting to understand." "Not enough," Rhea replied quietly. "Understanding is not enough. Respect is what we require, and they are only beginning to learn what that means." The humans' next move was audacious. Using information gathered from drones and observation posts, they predicted a major alien fleet movement toward Zephyr Prime. Instead of confronting it directly, humans set a trap, a series of environmental hazards modified to their advantage. Asteroids with high metal content were magnetized to disrupt engines. Plasma storms were lured into narrow corridors to disable shields. Gravity anomalies slowed the fleet, making them easy targets for human drones. When the alien fleet entered the trap, chaos erupted. Ships collided, shields failed, and communications broke down. Human drones struck at vulnerable points, disabling weapons and engines without a single human soldier in harm's way. Within hours, the alien fleet was shattered, forced to retreat to avoid total annihilation. On Zephyr Prime, the Council met in emergency session. The projections of the disaster filled the chamber. Vera's wings trembled with fear. "They have no weakness," she cried. "Every attack, every defense, they anticipate it. How can one species be so prepared for everything?" Rethic's eyes were cold and steady. "It is not preparation alone. It is adaptation, intelligence, morality. They fight for survival, not pride or power. That is why they cannot be defeated by our conventional strategies, and that is why we must respect them before it is too late." Talus, listening silently, felt a strange mixture of fear and awe. "They are extraordinary," he whispered. "I have never seen a species that can survive everything and still fight with such control." The humans did not pause to celebrate. Their work was ongoing. Each observation, each strike, each maneuver added to their understanding of the aliens' tactics and weaknesses. Every action reinforced the lesson they were teaching. Survival, intelligence, and adaptability were stronger than brute force alone. By the end of the cycle, the humans had achieved a strategic victory. They had disrupted supply lines, disabled fleets, captured key observation points, and left the aliens both terrified and bewildered. Yet not a single human had acted recklessly. Every move was precise, every decision calculated. Captain Rhea Calder looked at the map of the sector, marking the remaining alien positions. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "we escalate. They need to understand fully what it means to face Deathworlders." Lieutenant Jarek nodded. "They will know soon. Every species will know. We are not just survivors, we are humans. And humans endure." As night fell over Zephyr Prime, the Council realized they faced an unprecedented threat. Not a threat born of anger, conquest, or desire, but of survival, intelligence, and resilience. The humans were not just another species. They were something far more dangerous. A force that refused to yield, that learned from every strike, and that thrived where all others would perish. The galaxy was awakening to a new reality. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were the Deathworlders, the masters of survival, the thinkers of impossible challenges, and the species that would redefine what it meant to endure. The aliens were panicking. Every fleet, every base, every plan they had devised was crumbling under the humans' relentless and intelligent assault. What had begun as a small, cautious reconnaissance operation had evolved into a demonstration of humanity's lethal adaptability. Counselor Vera slammed her clawed hands against the holographic console. "We cannot hold our positions. Every move we make is anticipated. They know our strategies before we do." Rethik remained seated, his gaze steady, though his mind raced. "We misjudged them from the start. Every species we've faced reacts predictably. Humans do not. They survive what no one else can. They learn, they adapt, and they endure." On the horizon's edge, Captain Rhea Calder reviewed sensor feeds. Her crew had mapped the aliens' defensive grids, studied patrol patterns, and identified the weaknesses in supply lines. "They will strike again," she said softly. "And when they do, we need to ensure they hit a wall of their own making." Lieutenant Jarek raised an eyebrow. "A wall?" Rhea's eyes gleamed with the calm intensity of someone who had faced death on countless worlds. "A trap, Jarek. Not a trap to kill them, but a trap to show them what it means to face Deathworlders. Let them feel the consequences of underestimating us." The humans' next target was bold, an asteroid fortress the aliens had fortified to serve as a staging ground for fleet attacks. Its massive energy shields, thick hulls, and advanced weapon systems made it seemingly impregnable. The Council had boasted that no species could breach it. Humans did not believe in impossibilities. They engineered solutions instead. Rhea split her fleet into 3 groups. One would lure the alien patrols into a carefully constructed corridor of magnetized asteroids, where their engines would be disrupted. Another would deploy drones to disable the fortress shields. The final group, including Rhea herself, would deliver the decisive strike once vulnerabilities were exposed. "Timing is everything," she said to her crew. "Move with precision. Adapt. Anticipate." The operation began at dusk in Scifi Prime's orbit. Human drones swarmed like shadows across the void, invisible to sensors and weaving between magnetic fields. Alien ships pursued, but every maneuver they made had been anticipated. Thrusters were sabotaged, weapon systems jammed, and ships were drawn into natural hazards engineered by humans to their advantage. Rhea's voice on the comms was calm and commanding. "Phase 1 complete. Move to Phase 2. The drones infiltrated the fortress, crawling through maintenance tunnels and sensor grids, bypassing security protocols that had been considered unbreakable. Within hours, they disabled the outer shields, exposing critical energy conduits and weapon systems. Alien engineers tried to respond, but every countermeasure had been predicted. On Scifi Prime, panic swept through the Council. The holographic feed showed ships falling back, shields flickering and alarms blaring. "They are inside our fortress," Vera cried. "How? How can they be inside?" "Impossible." Rethik's jaw tightened. "They are inside because they do not fight like we do." "They adapt. They endure, and they anticipate death. That is why we fail. Humans did not attack blindly. Civilians and non-combatants were evacuated where possible. Their goal was to demonstrate control, not mindless destruction. Their precision strikes targeted only what needed to be disabled to neutralize the alien threat. The alien commander, Admiral Korath, realized too late that the humans had outmaneuvered him. "Pull back," he shouted. "Regroup. Strike where they are weakest." But humans had already predicted that move. Drone networks created decoys, drawing the remaining alien forces into gravitational traps within the asteroid field. The alien ships collided, engines overheated, and communication relays failed. Within hours, what had been a powerful staging fortress was rendered almost useless. Rhea watched the screens, calm as ever. "Phase 3, she announced. Our strike teams moved in to secure the remaining systems, disable weapons, and ensure the fortress could no longer be used for aggressive purposes. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. On the battlefield, Talus, the young alien officer, could only watch in awe. They anticipated everything, Every move we made, every strategy, every counterattack, they knew it. How can one species be so perfect at surviving? His mentor, the older officer, shook his head slowly. It is not perfection. It is adaptation. They are Deathworlders, Talus. Their survival depends on outthinking and outlasting anything. That is why no plan we have devised works against them. Once the fortress was secured, the humans did something unexpected. They did not destroy it entirely. They left enough infrastructure intact to show they were not conquerors, only masters of survival. The aliens, however, were forced to retreat, battered and humiliated. Back on Sci-Fi Prime, the Council convened an emergency session. Holographic images of the fortress, the disabled fleets, and the human strike teams filled the chamber. Vera's wings drooped in disbelief. They have done everything we thought impossible. And they did it without destroying us entirely. Why? What do they want? Rethic's voice was steady. They do not fight for conquest nor for pride. They fight for survival, for respect, for control of their destiny. That is what makes them terrifying, and what forces us to respect them. They are humans, and we have underestimated them at our peril. Meanwhile, humans consolidated their gains. Observation posts were strengthened, drones upgraded, and reconnaissance continued. Their presence in the sector was now undeniable. Every alien movement, every patrol, every fleet action was monitored and countered with precision. Rhea addressed her crew. We have shown them strength. We have forced them to adapt, just as we have adapted, but this is not over. Tomorrow they will regroup, and we will be ready. Jarek nodded, understanding the gravity of their position. They will come back, and they will try harder, but we are humans, and humans endure. The alien fleet, now scattered and weakened, retreated to Sci-Fi Prime's orbital defenses. Panic spread through the ranks. Stories of humans' abilities, how they survived toxic storms, navigated lethal terrain, and outsmarted entire fleets, spread quickly. Even the bravest officers whispered of their fears. Talus approached his mentor. They are extraordinary. How can one species do all this? Because they must, his mentor replied. Survival on their homeworld forged them into something we cannot even comprehend, and now we face the consequences. As night fell over Sci-Fi Prime, the humans remained vigilant. They had forced the aliens to face their limitations, to understand that brute force alone would never match intelligence, adaptability, and resilience. Humans did not celebrate their victory loudly. They did not boast. They prepared for the next phase, the next lesson. Captain Rhea Calder stood at the edge of the horizon's edge, gazing at the stars. They will remember today, she said softly. Not because we destroyed them, but because we survived, and showed them what it means to face humans. Lieutenant Jarek smiled faintly. And they will never forget it. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. The humans' message was clear. They did not conquer. They did not kill unnecessarily. They survived. They adapted. And in a galaxy where most species crumbled in the face of lethal worlds, humans stood unbroken, ready for any challenge. In the council chambers, Rethic made a quiet declaration. We must treat them with respect from this point forward. They are not like any species we have encountered. To underestimate them is to invite our own destruction. Talus listened silently, awe and fear in his eyes. I understand now, he whispered. We face a species born of death worlds, and they are unstoppable. The humans had turned the tables. They had demonstrated power, intelligence, and survival skills unmatched in the galaxy, and the aliens for the first time understood the terrifying truth. Humans were not just another species. They were masters of adaptation, unyielding and unstoppable when pushed to the edge. The galaxy was silent in the aftermath of humanity's campaign. Sci-Fi Prime, once a stronghold of alien confidence, now lay quiet with the echo of uncertainty and fear. The alien fleets had retreated, their communications disrupted, their fortresses disabled, and their pride shattered. Humans had proven that survival, intelligence, and adaptability were powers unmatched by mere numbers or weapons. Captain Rhea Calder stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge, watching the alien homeworld from orbit. The twin suns of Sci-Fi Prime reflected on the polished black hull of her ship. Below, the alien cities glimmered with light, but the council chambers buzzed with panic and debate. Lieutenant Jarek, always alert, broke the silence. They finally realized who they're dealing with. No negotiation, no alliances, just respect or they risk annihilation. Rhea nodded slowly. It's not respect they need to give. It's understanding. They must comprehend what it means to face humans, Deathworlders. Then, and only then, will they adjust. In the council chambers of Ziffer Prime, chaos gave way to reluctant contemplation. Counselor Vera folded her wings over her back, staring at the projections of human movements, the crippled fleets, and the captured forts. They do not fight like anyone we have faced, she admitted quietly. They do not seek conquest. They do not destroy indiscriminately, and yet, they are unstoppable. Rethik stood at the center, addressing the council with measured authority. We have misjudged humans from the beginning. Their survival skills, intelligence, and adaptability surpass anything we expected. They are not our enemies in the traditional sense. They are a force of nature. Talus, the young officer who had observed the humans firsthand, spoke up, his voice trembling. It is more than that. They have survived worlds that would kill us instantly. They have predicted our moves, turned our own technologies against us, and yet, they have shown restraint. They fight with honor. They fight with strategy. And they endure. The council fell silent, absorbing the weight of his words. They had underestimated humans at their peril. They had assumed myths and stories could not match reality. They had been wrong. Meanwhile, humans began to consolidate their positions. Observation posts remained active. Drones monitored key points and forward squads ensured no surprises could threaten them. But there was no celebration, no boastful declaration. Humans did not fight for glory. They fought for survival, for understanding, and for respect. Rhea addressed her crew over the comms. We have achieved our objective. The council knows our capabilities. They understand the cost of underestimating humans. Maintain vigilance, but there is no need for further destruction unless provoked. Today we claim victory in survival, not in annihilation. Jarek smiled faintly. Victory with honor. That's what makes humans, humans. On Ziffer Prime, Counselor Vera turned to Rethik. What do we do now? They could destroy us if they wished. Yet they have not. They could strike any time. Rethik's gaze was steady. We acknowledge them. We respect them. And we ensure we never underestimate them again. That is the lesson we must learn. Not out of fear, but out of recognition for what they are capable of. The alien fleets regrouped reluctantly, understanding that further direct attacks would be disastrous. Commanders instructed their crews to avoid unnecessary conflict while maintaining basic defenses. The humans' actions had rewritten the rules of engagement. Survival, intelligence, and adaptability were now the ultimate measures of strength. Humans, meanwhile, had begun the slow process of withdrawing from Ziffer Prime's immediate orbit, leaving enough observation posts to maintain awareness. Their goal was never conquest but demonstration, to show what it meant to face humans, the Deathworlders, and live to tell the tale. Rhea looked at the stars stretching endlessly before her. We have done what we came to do. The Council knows us now. The galaxy will know us soon, and they will remember, Jarek nodded. And not just remember, they will respect us. Fear us perhaps, but more importantly, respect the species that survives where others perish. Meanwhile, word of humanity's actions spread quickly. Alien civilizations that had never encountered humans before heard the reports. Fleets destroyed without direct confrontation. Fortresses breached without indiscriminate slaughter. And soldiers who could survive worlds designed to kill. Tales of humanity's discipline, intelligence, and adaptability traveled across the galaxy faster than any weapon could fire. Back on Ziffer Prime, Counselor Vera addressed the remaining leaders. We must change our approach. Humans are not myths. They are a force unlike anything we have seen. We must respect them, learn from them, and avoid provoking them unnecessarily. Their survival is our reminder that arrogance leads to ruin. Rethik nodded. Indeed, we have seen a species born from the harshest conditions, molded by death itself. To face them is to face the impossible, and survive only by being extraordinary. Talus looked out at the stars, still trembling with awe. I understand now. They are not just humans. They are the embodiment of survival, intelligence, and honor. They endure where others fall, and that makes them unstoppable. The humans' actions had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of power. Brute force alone was no longer enough. Strategy, adaptability, and the courage to face death on one's own terms had proven superior. Humanity had emerged not only victorious but respected, feared in the right measure, and admired across countless systems. In orbit above Ziffer Prime, Rhea gathered her senior crew for a final briefing. The Council will rebuild. They will adapt as they must. We have demonstrated our capabilities. We have survived. That is enough. Lieutenant Jarek smiled. And they will tell stories of us for generations. About humans who thrive where all others fall, who endure the impossible and fight with honor. That's our victory too. Rhea's eyes scanned the stars. Yes, let them remember. Let every species know that humans, the Deathworlders, are not to be underestimated. Let them see that survival, intelligence, and honor are stronger than fear and brute force. That is the legacy we leave today. As the humans' ships departed Sci-Fi Prime's system, leaving behind observation posts and a trail of calculated influence, the Council watched in silence. They had been humbled. They had been educated. And they had been forced to acknowledge a truth they could no longer deny. Humans were extraordinary. Vera finally spoke, her voice quiet but filled with respect. We were wrong to doubt them. We were wrong to underestimate them. From now on, we will never make that mistake again. Rethik nodded. Yes, humanity has taught us something important. Survival is not only about weapons or numbers. It is about intelligence, adaptability, and courage. It is about enduring the impossible. And humans, they are the masters of it. Talus, standing beside them, whispered, I hope we never have to face them in full battle again. But if we do, I now understand what it means to survive and to fight with honor. Humans are a lesson in themselves. Across the galaxy, news of the humans' campaign continued to spread. Other alien civilizations began preparing differently, studying human tactics and reconsidering their assumptions. The stories of the Deathworlders became legend, told not in fear alone, but in respect for a species that could thrive where others perished. Back on the horizon's edge, Rhea Calder allowed herself a small smile. Her crew worked quietly, maintaining systems and preparing for the next mission. They had not sought fame or conquest. They had only sought to survive, to demonstrate their capabilities, and to teach the galaxy a vital lesson. And as they sailed through the stars, one truth was clear. Humanity would never be underestimated again. The aliens had learned a lesson in humility, survival, and respect. The galaxy had witnessed the power of humans, the Deathworlders, and the understanding spread like wildfire. The most dangerous species in the universe were not the ones with the largest fleets or the deadliest weapons. It was the species that could endure, adapt, and survive anything. And humanity had shown the galaxy exactly what that meant. The humans continued their journey, ever vigilant, ever adaptive, and always ready. They had fought, they had survived, and they had taught a galaxy to respect the impossible.